The reality is I've never aspired to be a leader. I've aspired to make an impact and inspire others to do amazing things. And if leadership comes along with that, it's just an added bonus on the side. But really the reality is that aspiring to be a leader doesn't usually come out that way. You usually aspire for change and positive impact, and you end up becoming a leader along the way. Who inspired me to make the biggest change in my career? That would definitely be Sarah Elliott. She is a coach and a CPA herself. I met her a few years ago, and she had the amazing talent of holding space for me to figure out what was important to me and how I wanted my career to move forward. And because of her support and her love and her guidance, I was able to really redefine what I wanted my career to look like and take the steps necessary to make that happen. And so here I am in a completely different place, which I love, and doing incredible things, which I never thought were possible. My husband and my kids. My husband is the most supportive, encouraging, loving person on the face of the planet. He puts up with all my crazy ideas, all of my travel, all of my dreams, and always tells me to go for it. So I'm sure as I progress to the next step in my career, he'll be right there with me, cheering me on. And I think for my kids, they inspire me to make a difference in the world and to really have an impact and to have meaning and do things with intention. And I want so desperately to set an example for them of how to find your voice and how to share it with the world and really make a difference. But I would say for me, the two biggest things that go into leadership are vulnerability and authenticity. So as a woman in the profession, what speaks most to me are leaders who are coming from a place of authenticity, who are really truly uniquely themselves and who are vulnerable and will share the things that they're concerned about, the things that they need help with, recognizing their weaknesses and making sure that their strengths are what shine through. And they surround themselves with people who have strengths that are different than theirs. And I think that's really important from a leadership standpoint. So leadership is all about people who choose to follow you, right? Not people who have to follow you. And I think that people choose to follow you when you lead with vulnerability and authenticity. And I think the reality is women bring an incredible uniqueness to leadership. And I don't know that it's necessarily something that we can do to train them or make sure they have knowledge. I think the reality is we empower women. If we find ways to empower women to step into their own leadership, into their own unique authenticity and vulnerability, if we make sure that every time they put themselves out on a limb, we are there to support them and make sure that when they fall, we can help them get back up. That is what we should be doing for women. That is how we make sure that they move into those leadership roles, those decision-making roles where it's critical that they belong. And I think that for us as women, as we celebrate International Women's Day, we should really be thinking about how we're empowering women, those women around us, those women above us, those women below us, whatever it looks like. How are we empowering them to take the next step and to lean into that leadership role? Defining success for me. I am a big fan with Sarah's guidance and leadership of recognizing that what I believed was success was the same for every person. And what I have recognized over the years is that success is not the same for each of us. We define our own success. We have to love it and lean into it and be comfortable with it. And that's my biggest challenge. And I'm still on that journey as I discover what's most important to me and how to intentionally use my time on a regular basis. But I love that journey and I love the challenge because it really is bringing the best out in me. Leadership comes with or without a title. And so the reality of leadership is not about where you are in the organization or where you might be in the profession or how many years of experience you have. Leadership is all about your willingness to be authentic and vulnerable and use your voice. And recognizing that is such a powerful thing because women everywhere, no matter what level they are, no matter what their title is, have the opportunity to be leaders. I think I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken to hear that 45% of women globally don't believe they have the same career opportunities as their male counterparts. And it breaks my heart because I believe that we are in a time and a place where as women, we get to define what it looks like for us to have those career opportunities and to decide whether or not we want that career opportunity to look the same as it looks for our male counterparts. And this is important to distinguish because I believe a lot of women think that we need to give up everything to make it in our professional career. And I think the reality is that's not true. I think we get to define how the workplace works, what the business model looks like, and we have a voice in that, and we can be the leading charge on that so that it's better for everyone, not just women. So as it breaks my heart, it also inspires me to speak up and speak loudly and make sure that everyone knows that we have the opportunity to change. Mentor as many young women as you possibly can. If you don't have a mentor, find a mentor. I have mentors. I am a mentor, and it has been the most fulfilling part of my career, inspiring other young women, other young men to make big leaps and to believe in themselves and do big things. I don't think that we can do it enough. The other advice I would have for women is to empower those around you. We need each other, right? Women can't afford not to help each other. We need to set the example, right? And we have so many men allies, and it's important that we as women are also doing the same thing that we're asking men to do for women. If we're asking men to step in and sponsor and advocate and put their political capital on the line to develop young women, then we as women need to be willing to do the same thing. And that is kind of a hard ask. And sometimes some of us feel like, well, I had to go through it, so should she. But that's not where we need to live. We need to live in the space that says every opportunity is available to these young women, and we want to make sure that they are able to reach out and grab it. Anything from Brené Brown is worth the read. Her TED Talks are incredible. Anything from Simon Sinek, again, his books are great. His TED Talks are great. I really am truly inspired by The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It really was one of the first books that inspired me to find my zone of genius. Read the book. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's epically amazing. I read a lot on HBR. I also really enjoy blogs. Intend to Lead has an incredible blog. I would be Blink, and that would be because I can teleport anywhere at any time in the blink of an eye. And that, my friends, would save me a ton of heartache. If there was no commuting involved, my life would be a lot simpler.